Hello there, and welcome to another episode of How to Build a Radio Station. As you can see, we're coming along quite nicely here. We've got the mixer installed. There's still a few niggling little faults with this mixer, but it's an old piece of kit, it's an old analog mixer. You're going to have to do maintenance on it and stuff. We've already done some bits, some more bits still to do, but nothing that actually stops it from working. You can't quite see it in the shot at the minute. The scoop reporter thing is in place there now. There is also a co-presenter's microphone just off the shot there. This is the presenter's mic that is probably going to move a little bit at some point. And you'll see we've now got two computer screens over here as well. The one on the left is running the software that basically controls the whole station. It's software called Rivendell, Rivendell Radio Automation, and that controls the whole station. It's running at the moment because there is actually something playing out at the moment through the mixer. It's actually in a commercial at the moment. If I turn the monitor up, the studio monitor, you'll hear it.
Cause severe illness, but childhood vaccinations can help prevent them. Are your child up to date? Find out more. Search online for NHS vaccinations.
You are now tuned in to your #1 radio station.
So yeah, I can't play you anymore because it'll play a piece of music next, and when it plays a piece of music, of course, we get problems with YouTube and stuff like that. Right, so that is that software there. The playlist is down the side here. I don't know if you can see it. So it's actually going to play the chorus next, Only When I Sleep. After that, Vonda Shepherd, Sweet Inspiration. And it's got all sorts on the playlist there. Right. The next computer screen to it, the one to the right, that at the moment is just running a piece of software called Audacity, which many of you will know Audacity already. It's a well-known piece of kit. That is software that basically records and edits audio. At the minute we're using it to record audio. That computer though, which is the box of the computer is actually under the desk here, that computer is the one that will eventually do the encoding and transmitting out to the internet. So it will eventually have a piece of software called BUTT, broadcast using this tool on it, and that will send the signal out to the World Wide Web. To make sure we're always going at the same level, we've got this little box down here, which is the compressor, which I've now kind of got set up. I'm having to use the compressor to cover for a little problem with the levels on the mixer at the moment. The outputs from the mixer, the left and right channels, are not level. One is louder than the other, and there's no way of independently altering the output, the stereo output, on this particular mixing desk actually from the top. So I think it's a fault in this main panel on the end here. As you'll know if you watched our videos before, this mixer is sectional, so we've got another one of these, so I'll need to swap out this end panel. But for now I'm compensating for the differences between the left and the right on the output there by having one side of the output turned up slightly higher than the other, so it's coming out level to the world. So that is basically how it's working. We've got two keyboards here for the two computers, one for the radio automation and one for what is Audacity doing recording of the stream at the moment, but we'll do broadcast of the stream using BUTT, broadcast using this tool. And if I now start recording with Audacity there, you should see what's going out start recording on this PC. So if I do that, and you can see there's a waveform appearing on that now, which is actually what's going out, and it's fairly consistent, as you'll see. It's not up and down too much, it's fairly consistent, which means we're making a fairly consistent noise on the stream. So it's not going quiet and loud and quiet and loud, so you're not having to turn your radio up and down and mess about with it if you're listening. So it's all reasonable on there. So that is basically the setup for now. There are other pieces of kit to wire in. If I sit back a bit, you will see this wonderful old reel-to-reel tape machine that Dominic kindly donated to us. This is working now. It is fully working. I just need to now plug it into the mixer so we can play stuff off of the reel-to-reel and also record to the reel-to-reel should we want to. We've got headphones that are the presenter's headphones that plug straight into the desk here, so I can listen to what is playing out at the moment. And that is Von der Shepherd playing there at the moment. If you don't know who Von der Shepherd is, ask your mum, particularly if your mum used to watch the TV show Ally McBeal. So yeah, that is basically it. We've got microphones all over the place. As I say, the presenter mic there, there is, a co-presenter mic there, a main presenter mic there, a guest mic there, another guest mic there that's not plugged in, that's on a little desk stand. We are going to alter around how all this works. Eventually, those two screens are going to go on top of the mixer. So you'll be able to sit at the mixer like this and have the screens in front of you with the mixers in front of you. That's what we're going to do eventually, but for now, because I'm actually opening the mixer up a lot and fiddling with all the settings and connections that are inside here, we've not built the bridge over it yet to put the screens on, but that will be happening soon. But do you think that's a good idea? Do you think we ought to have the screens up there on some kind of bridge? Leave a comment below and let me know. And what else do you think we need? What else does the station need? If you are a DJ or a presenter, what have you got in your radio stations that you think we might benefit from? Again, leave a comment, let us know, and yeah, we'll just keep cracking on and keep moving forward. We are not on air yet. I'm kind of tempted to say we're not even close to being on air, but in actual fact we are close to being on air. We need the internet going in to this office. The saga of the internet has been ongoing for quite some time, but basically now it's sorted. We've got an official address now for this room in this big mill building that we're in, so theoretically now I should be able to get internet. Once we've got the internet in, there's not much to stop us from streaming. The only thing to stop us from streaming legally will be getting the licenses from PRS and PPL that we need to play the music, and I don't think that's a big deal as far as I'm aware. It's just a cost, so we're not doing it until we're ready to go, because why should we pay for a month's streaming when we're not actually ready to broadcast? So we're not doing that until we're ready to go. And also the stream provider who we upload the single stream to, and then they sort of broadcast it to the wider masses, we've not got that bit of internet hosting in place yet, because again, it's an expense, and until we're ready to go with this studio, there is no reason to start paying for something that we're not using. So they're the two things that we still basically need. One thing I am considering is relaying all this out, maybe turning these desks around 90 degrees. I've not quite decided on that yet. I'm just getting a feel for how it works. I've been sat here today for, maybe a couple of hours already, just basically playing with it all and using it as if I was doing a radio show, just to see if everything is in reach and where I want it, and you know, see if I can get at everything easily, and I can monitor all the things that I need to be monitoring to make sure everything is going out as it should. And it looks pretty good so far. It looks fairly reasonable. So that is the state of play at the moment. So I'll give you a closer shot where you can see what's going on with these two computer screens. So here's a close shot of the two screens at the moment. This is Rivendell Radio Automation, which is the play-out system. Now, radio stations used to have records and tapes and what they call carts and cart machines for playing out adverts and jingles and stuff like that. It's all done on a computer now, and that is the computer that deals with all that. This other computer, this one here, this is at the moment running Audacity. It's recording what we are producing at the moment, basically. So at the moment it's playing 100 different ways by Girls Aloud, and that is recording for test purposes our play out of 100 different ways by Girls Aloud. That bit of software will change. Audacity will go, and in its place will be BUTT, broadcast using this tool, and that is what will get the stream out to the world. And then the little box you can just about see in the bottom of the shot there. We've featured this before, but that little box down there with all the knobs on it and things, that is a compressor limiter that is making sure the stream stays at a certain loudness, for want of a better way of describing it, so you're not turning your radio up and down all the time as you're trying to listen to us. So that is basically where we are at the moment. We've got the software in and working, and it is working. I can stop this here and I can play you a couple of little jingly things. So if I stop Girls Aloud from playing, put that into manual mode there, stop Girls Aloud from playing, and now I can turn up the studio monitor now, and I can play this break jingle. You should now hear it. There you go. Did you get that? Turn it up a bit more. Or you can play this one.
You are now tuned in to your #1 radio station.
And there's also a test tone on here as well that is just for testing purposes, to make sure we've got everything levelled correctly. And that is the test tone. But you can play more than one thing at once as well, like this.
You are now tuned in to your #1 radio station.
So you can put one thing over the top of another, and now it's all stopped. If you look at Audacity now, you see that's recording blank now because there's no actual sound going through it. But if I open a microphone channel, you'll see it start to record my voice. So I'm opened the microphone there now. That's about where it should be, and you can now see Audacity is actually now recording my voice over there. So if I'm quiet, you will see it goes quiet. Oh, when I start to speak, you can see that it's recording again. But it's interesting, it won't get any louder than that, and this is where the limiter goes in. So if I really start to shout, it doesn't make any bigger peaks on it. You can see it stays exactly where it was before. And if I talk very quietly, it still brings the quiet bits up as well, like that. So that is basically what the compressor limiter does to try and keep the audio levels reasonably consistent throughout the broadcast. Of course, you don't want it to be too consistent though, otherwise the sound is kind of dead and flat. So if it's too consistent, the audio output, your song doesn't have loud bits and quiet bits, so it kind of you kind of lose some of the ambience of it a bit. So you can alter how much it limits and compresses, you know, how much of a percentage it does it by, and getting that set up right is a real black art that's really taken some time. So that's about it for this episode of How to Start a Radio Station. As you can see, it's all coming together quite nicely. There's still bits and pieces to do, but now we're at this stage, it's kind of over to you guys a little bit, because we are now looking for people to present shows, either make shows for us remotely and send them to us and we'll play them out, or better still, we're looking for people to actually come in here and make their shows in this studio. Whether you've got radio experience or not, it doesn't matter. We can train you on how to do it. So if you're further afield and you can make us shows remotely, get in touch. If you are nearby, or if you can travel to us, we're at Pleasantdale near Mansfield, then you can come and make your show live in the studio. We're looking for people to do shows probably weekly, but if you want to do just a one-off show, that's fine. Or if you can maybe do one a month, that's fine. If you want to do a show daily, that's fine as well. If you can make the commitment doing a show daily, yeah, go for it. One question I'm getting asked quite a lot is, what is our genre going to be musically? The answer to that one is, it's going to be quite mixed. But basically what we're going to try and do, if you're in the UK, you're familiar with BBC Radio 2, we're going to try and do something similar to that. Radio 2 is the most popular radio station across the UK by a country mile. So they must be doing something right with their mix of music. So we're going to do something like that. We're not doing music just from one era. We want to be current, because one of the things we want to do is we want to promote new music. So if you're a singer or you're in a band or anything like that, signed or unsigned, if you want to get your music on PVR, then again get in touch with us. I will give you the contact details at the end of this video. So we want to promote new music, so that's one thing we want to do. So we can't say we're just going to do 70s and 80s, because obviously then we won't be able to include new music in it. So we're going to do a bit of everything, but if you think about what the Radio 2 output is, I mean, a radio presenter stroke DJ I really like and have done since I was at school, and that's how long he's been doing his radio shows, is Steve Wright. I think his afternoon show is just absolutely brilliant. Very, very much enjoy that show. And if we can do something along similar lines at least part of the time, that would be great. But we are going to have specialist music shows as well. We've already got a country show lined up, and one or two other things as well. Something I'm very keen on doing is a phone-in, a late night phone-in. Late night phone-ins were the staple of local and particularly independent radio stations, both in the States and in the UK a few years ago. But it doesn't seem to happen so much these days. I would love to bring it back so that wherever you are in the UK, and bear in mind you're going to be able to listen to us from anywhere because we're going to be broadcasting on the internet, I would love for people to be able to call in and do a phone-in show, you know, a late night phone-in show. It's, if I could just do one show, that would be the one I'd pick probably. So I'm very, very keen that that should happen in some way, shape or form. So that would be quite nice to do. But there's no reason I should present it every night. So if you fancy presenting a late night phone-in show, get in touch. Again, I will give you all the contact details at the end of the video. So musical style is going to be varied. There will be specialist music programming, say specialist shows, but generally it's going to be sort of middle of the road stuff. It will be running commercials, we will be running adverts. Our adverts will probably be cheaper to buy than most. We're just working it out at the moment, but times are tough for businesses at the present with inflation and the rising cost of living and that. So I want to be able to give businesses some promotion without costing them an arm and a leg, and I think we can probably do that. I've worked it out that we need to make around about £200 a month to pay the bills and keep the lights on, to pay the electricity bill, the rent for this building, and all the licensing, etc. We need about £200 a month coming in to be able to do that, and anything that we can get over that will go into a little fund where we kind of put it towards making things bigger and better in the future. But I'm also keen to preserve a bit of radio history, which is why we've got things like Dominic's reel-to-reel machine behind me, because yeah, we could do all this off a computer. We could probably even not have the mixer and computerise that. But one thing that I wanted to do was show the old school way of doing it, so people can learn old school presenter skills, so they can learn how to put a mixer up and down and do all the levels and stuff like that. Because when you see a really good radio presenter on a really fast-paced show working a mixer, and particularly if they're using old-fashioned cart machines and stuff like that as well, it really has to be seen to be believed. They're like an octopus throwing cassettes and records and things all over the place. And it's just an amazing skill that I think is kind of been a bit lost in this world of just clicking icons. So although we are computerised and shows will be able to run off a computer, we will also have the ability to run shows from other media. I'm well aware that vinyl is making a bit of a comeback at the moment, and there are vinyl collectors out there who would like to maybe listen to a show where all the music is on vinyl. That is something that we're looking at doing, and getting old record decks in so we can play vinyl. So there's no end to the possibilities. If you've got any ideas, if you've got anything you think we should be doing that we're not at the moment, or anything you think we probably should not be doing that we are, then leave us a comment below. And if you want to get in touch with us, go to the website andyshed.coldpress.net, and you'll find a contact form on there at andyshed.coldpress.net. Get in touch with us through that. You can also get in touch with me now directly, andy@coldpress.net. That's Andy at CALLPRESS.net. Andy@coldpress.net. And if you get in touch with me, I will do my best to reply to everybody who emails in. And that's the same contact if you've got any questions about what we're doing. If you're setting up a station and you need any help, feel free to give us a buzz. We are getting very close now to the stage where we're going to have a bit of a pre-start-up event where we're going to be inviting people along to come and see it all and try sitting in the hot seat here and having a go with it all, and see if they fancy being a presenter, or see if they've got the skill to do it or not, or they can just come along and just have a play with it for a few minutes. But so yeah, I think that's going to be the next thing. I think we're going to have a bit of an event. So if you're interested in coming to that, again, andy@coldpress.net, or get in touch with us via the website andyshed.coldpress.net, and we will hopefully see you here very soon. But from me, for now, I'm going to get the old screwdriver back out, because like I say, there's still some things to tweak, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.